Welcome back to a drunk episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks,
a lot of drinks, and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting,
and Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Yes.
Yeah. The only reason why I said a whole lot of drinks is because we're doing 2 episodes in a row.
Yes. And I had an hour off between the 2 episodes, but I'm still we've polished off a whole bottle, and Papa is a lightweight where Jennifer could drink a sailor under the table.
Yep. So,
yeah, I was a little tipsy to begin with, and now we're about to start drinking again. So,
this will be a fun episode.
I remember when we first started the podcast, I was like, oh, we can do 3 episodes in a day. And we've only done that once, maybe twice. And I was drunk.
Oh, my goodness.
By the third one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Miss Jennifer, how's your week been?
It's been all right. Just working and trying to figure out, I am possibly, I was talking to you and Zane because you guys are my kind of soundboards, I guess I will say. I talk to you about pretty much everything because you're my best friends, but there might be a job opportunity for me coming up that I could get a raise, and so I was just trying to get your opinion on it.
And as good friends, we told you OnlyFans is not really a good option, but
no, that's not true, because you've said that you would take pictures of my feet and
that's
put
WikiFeet.
it on there.
That's different. Well, that's a different site.
Oh, okay. I thought that was an OnlyFans thing.
No,
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll take all the nasty pictures of your feet if you want.
Get all that money.
That's right.
But yeah, so I'm gonna apply, and I'm gonna see if I can get a raise. I've been with this company in April will be 19 years.
Wow.
And I've had plenty of
ups
and
downs.
I guess. Yeah. I've been trying to get out of customer service forever, and it just doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to, just because I've been there so long, that I'm just going to try to get, a better or a higher pay in customer service. So we'll see how that goes. Y'all will find out when I find out. Or maybe a couple weeks later.
Yeah. Depends
on when we release the episode.
Expected probably March.
Yeah.
Maybe May.
Well, I might know by it takes a while for them to do all the things and yeah, so, because it has to, go up the ladder. It's just annoying, so.
Well, I think you'll get it. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'll sacrifice a goat in your honor.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Maybe not a goat, because, I love animals, so.
A cockroach?
Yeah, that's fine.
That okay?
I don't really love them. I don't care as long as they're not in my house.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah, so that's just kind of what's on my mind right now this week, is just that, and then also getting a window, a windshield for my car. Gonna have to, figure that one out too, so.
When you said window, I was because I know Wesley had broken the window in his bedroom. I was like, you're going to replace that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because it's
he'll break it again.
Well, and it's partial damage. It's not, completely, broke.
Yeah.
But it's just partial. So I think the cold snap is kind of gone, and I just told him to keep his bedroom door closed so that way it doesn't go into
the rest of the house.
The rest of the house, yeah, because my air conditioning unit is right next to his bedroom door, so or both of our bedroom doors. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what's on my mind this week, is just trying to see, I guess, get the quotes and see which one's going to be the cheapest for me, to be able to, get that front windshield replaced and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
It sucks getting your windshield replaced.
yeah, I was thinking because I had that song Safe Light Repairs, in my head. So I was like, well, I'll go check them out too because,
Yeah.
I think they come to your place to
Replace the windshield?
replace it. Yeah. The dude that I got the quote from that I talked about in the last episode, he does, but I just think 540, I think it was like 542 is just really expensive. And so, I'm just going to have to do a little bit more research.
Yeah, get you some extra quotes.
Right.
Well, I will say a little prayer for you, my dear.
Well, I appreciate it. We both have had blah, 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 blah. Let me try that again. Sorry, words are hard. Car issues, with your car having to get 4 tires, and then the other one recalls, and so hopefully we're good for a while.
Man, I hope so.
I'm crossing my fingers.
We have the thing we had the recall on is a Volkswagen ID4. It's one of their electric vehicles, and we love it. We have really enjoyed the car.
Yeah. It has had a lot of recalls, though, hadn't it?
No, not particularly. It's had some issues. Like, it's had issues with the air conditioner. That's been the biggest thing. It's that it's like I've had to take it in to get serviced for its air conditioner 3 times.
Yeah.
But as far as recalls, this is the first one. No, that's not true. No, this is the first recall. No, you're right. The second one, the first one was for the sunscreen thing that goes over the giant. They had to like spray it with shit that wouldn't like ignite or something like that. Anti-inflammable spray or something like that.
Okay.
And then the steering wheel started peeling.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
one,
that.
Yeah, that one happened.
That's really sucked because.
Yeah, but that wasn't a warrant. That was a warranty issue, not a recall.
Right. Okay.
So
gotcha.
And apparently it was pretty common because I'm on Reddit and I see people who have ID4s like, what's up with my driver's or my steering wheel? And I'm like, welcome to the club.
Right.
Yeah, this week's been, but as far as the cars, we got there's something to do with the handles, the door handles.
Okay.
And the infotainment center needs an update. So those are the 2 recalls.
You have more.
Yeah, these are the actual true recalls that are like most recent, and so we got to go take it in and get them fixed.
Oh goodness. So much.
I know, but I mean, it's like it was a second or third generation car, so I wasn't super surprised.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not like super mad about it either, just because, like Volkswagen's been pretty good about everything, and I haven't been too upset with it. Yeah. And you don't have to pay for gas, so it's lovely.
There you go. And your utility bill didn't go up like wicked high like you thought it was going to, so that's even better.
Having my kids live with me again, that has made it expensive.
Yeah. That makes sense because there's a lot more laundry, and then having a baby in the house definitely. Yeah. Because again, more laundry and that sort of thing, but not too bad.
No, I mean like, we can definitely afford it, but I'm just like, oh, good Lord, when are y'all gonna move out? Papa's tired of paying for your shit. Yeah. But yeah, as far as career goes, I'm actually looking forward to, like, I've been seeing a counselor not because I felt like I needed like psychological help, but more I just was struggling accomplishing goals. And
kind of in a rut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted someone to help me be accountable like you do with this podcast. Mm-hmm. So I've been meeting with him. We've met twice. He's helped me set some good goals. And I was like, oh, what about this and this? And he's like, you already have 4 goals. Why don't we just call it that for right now?
Don't put too much
don't put too much on your plate.
So that way you're not burnt out by, the time that you're like,
So I was like, okay, good call. So we put those on hold. One of them though is I'm going to start trying for a certification for some work stuff. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm going to try and get a little bit more knowledge on how to do some more technical stuff with or this one system where we use, and it's used everywhere. So like if I want to move on to a different company, I can. So
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on that. 'Cause,
Thank you.
You know, everything is doable.
yeah,
You just have to do it.
I'm not too worried about it.
And you're super smart. So
Oh, well, thank you. So, yeah, week's been pretty good. Just been running around trying to get kids to shit and myself to
well,
get...
not really like kids to actually
yeah.
physically shit. But,
Well, your son, I had to get him to shit earlier, but...
Oh, did you? Well, that's I don't know what to say about that.
But yeah, no, it's been a pretty good week. Just busy, like typical, and putting out garbage fires at work.
Yeah.
But yeah, such is life as a busy parent.
That is
I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
I actually, and I know I don't think I talked about it on the podcast. I actually had an interview recently. Oh, I did tell you, Jennifer, I think. I had an interview with a company that I've interviewed with before.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't hire me for the first position, so I tried for another one. And I was interested in it, but they were like, oh, how flexible are on you on the salary requirement you put down? Mm-hmm. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, the role we're offering, the salary is X. And I was like, well, I already make X.
Right. I'm not going to leave my job now if I'm just going to be making the same amount of money.
Yeah. And their pay structure was weird too, because they did an 80-20 split of their pay. So it's like your regular biweekly paycheck was 80% of your annual salary. And then the rest of the 20% was like a bonus you got quarterly. So as long as you hit your markers, you got the remainder of your 20%.
That is, I don't like that.
I was like, I found it a bit weird, but she said very few people, like it's incredibly rare when people don't hit that 20%. But I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but if you're going to tell me I'm going to be paid this much, then don't take away my mony.
Well,
I don't know. That sounds really weird to me.
And if I was like, if it was a lateral move salary wise, like if I left my current job to go to this company and I didn't really get a pay increase, if I went to an 80-20 split, I would have a 20% drop in pay.
Yeah.
Except for like once a quarter, I would get it. So I was like, nah. Well, anyway, I told them, I was like, I'm already making X. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, well, I'll let the hiring manager know. I was like, okay, well, that means it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. They called me back. This hiring manager wanted to meet me. Mm-hmm. Thought we had a good interview. I felt like I talked about stuff well, and because it was pretty much what I do now. A lot of mentoring young software developers, because I'm a software developer, solving complex problems, working with the management to kind of like smooth out the workflow, that kind of stuff.
Right.
All things I do. And then he's like, I'm going to send you a technical assessment, so a programming project. And I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, I realize I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but I have 14 years experience as a developer.
Right.
Don't send me a programming problem. Right. And on top of that, I was like, I am super busy. He's like, it was a Tuesday when we had the interview. He was like, can you have it to me by Friday? I'm like, no. I was like, I've got a full-time job and I've got to take my kid to shit and I got to make dinner. And I was like, no, there's no way to do it. So I looked at it, and had it been a kind of like put together a PowerPoint, I might have done it. Mm-hmm. But it was like, download all this software, then start programming. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be able to do this in 3 days.
Right.
So
on top of your job, and then on top of taking Kalia everywhere that she needs to go. And that's. I mean, if look at my resume. Yeah. I can do this shit. This is what I do for work.
If I was unemployed, maybe, but I'm like, nah, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm already making the upper range of what your salary, what you're offering, I'm like, you're going to lowball me anyway.
Right.
So I wrote them back. I was like, I appreciate the offer, but I'm too busy. Yeah. It's like, I have a full-time job and I am a busy dad. There's just no way I can do this.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. But
yeah. Oh, well.
I understand. But you tried.
Yeah. I'm still trying. I will say the job market for software developers is a bit soft at the moment.
Okay.
With everybody laying up people's shit off and
Everybody having to go back into the office.
yeah, and like with Doge like threatening everybody's fucking job at the government.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting next few years.
Yeah.
But Miss Jennifer, what are we drinking?
We are drinking our go-to.
Our go-to.
Because we love this. Mm-hmm. And it's our second episode, so
yeah.
We were just like,
well, partly
easy, let's go. It's quick and easy. Let's,
I felt like if we opened up another bottle, I would just be like on the floor. Whereas like what Jennifer's, you want to tell them what we're drinking though?
Yeah. We're doing our classic Nighthawk by Bota. It's the bourbon barrel aged Cabernet Sauvignon. Mm-hmm. And it is wonderful. And since it's a box, that's what he's talking about, where we don't have to really finish the box like we usually finish the bottles. And that's why he can just have one and be good and not have to fall
be
out.
on the floor. Yes.
Which I think would be fun, but you don't think it would.
I mean, I would probably throw up and then just go to sleep.
Oh well, I don't want you throwing up. So
that's all it would be.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all. So yeah, let's not do that.
Okay, we won't. But we will take a break. So we'll be right back. And we're back.
Did you miss us?
I did. Well, it was funny. As soon as I said, let's take a break, my daughter-in-law started cackling.
Yeah.
And if you can hear her in the background, she's cackling up a storm. Oh, Miss Jennifer.
Yes.
We'd finished up the first episode earlier today, and my granddaughter was doing homework, and I was like, Clea, what should we talk about on the podcast? She's like, I don't know. I thought y'all talked about how much y'all didn't like us or something like that. I was like, no, we're just talking about how hard it is because we don't know what we're doing.
And she's like, all I know is art.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cute because he's like, all I do is art. That's what I do. I don't know anything else.
And she gave us some ideas like bullying.
Yeah.
But for Clea, she really hasn't dealt with bullying much.
Well, she has, I think. I
mean, it has been I don't mean she's never been people have been cruel to her, or kids her age have been cruel to her, but it's not been a sustained, it's usually been one-offs or week off. It's not been all semester long. I've had this one girl destroying my ego.
Yeah, from when, I used to pick her up, it was, oh, this boy was pulling my hair in class and I told him not to touch my hair and, little things like that. And I'm like, you tell the teacher because you are a black girl. And I was like, is it a white boy? And she was like, yes. And I was like, well, you tell the teacher because he ain't supposed to touch you. And he needs to learn now before he gets into a lot of trouble when he gets older. Yeah. Then them little mean girls, the little girls that I don't know, not necessarily pick on her, but her ex or whatever.
Yeah. There's always drama. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't think I would call it bullying per se. It's just kid drama. But anyway, we haven't had it, and frankly your kid Wesley can be kind of a bully himself. Right. So I'm I didn't know what we would talk about if we talked about bullying. I mean,
I guess him being a bully. Well, and then in the last episode I talked about how I bullied, and then I learned my lesson, and I became a protector of people who bullied other people because I was once one.
But we kind of were I'm not sure what we were talking about. So we decided to land on siblings because you and I both have siblings, and Clea has siblings, and it is always a source of drama in my household when it comes to siblings.
And she didn't want us to do it, so of course, we're going to do it anyway.
Perfect.
So,
You
yeah,
wanna-
because
you
she
wanna-
has a good bit of siblings.
Yeah, she has 2 younger sisters. She is 11. She has a 4-year-old sister and a 2-year-old sister.
Yep. Who we adore, love, but I only can take in small doses.
They are precious
we
as
are
all get
old.
out, but man alive, are they a lot.
Oh, Lord, yes. But they're so cute, and they, they're just so cute. I just love them to death.
Yeah. But I will say, like, toddlers at that age, well, toddlers are just a lot in general. And every time I see them, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I got to see you and hang out. But I'm so glad when you leave because I'm so goddamn tired.
Because then I gotta go home, go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone touching me, talking to me, doing anything to me. I'm just done. But they came over last weekend, which was a surprise.
Yep.
But you and I went and got some firewood, and then you went and got some stuff for s'mores.
Yep.
And then we had a little campfire, and everybody was out there. Even baby Elijah was out there for a little bit, and then he just kind of fell asleep on Daddy and Justin. And it was just so much fun.
Really
and
sweet.
They were so cute, and of course, sugar. Kids love it, so they were all about the
s'mores.
More so just like eating the crackers.
Oh,
and,
they love those graham crackers.
And eating the marshmallows. So, we got them all sugared up because, of course, they're not our kids. So, we don't care.
Yep.
But I think I really enjoyed that, and I felt like it was a good.
Yeah, I agree.
Good experience. I don't know if they'll remember it, but
I suspect we'll do it
really liked
again.
it.
So because I grew up doing campfires just because we had a lake house.
Yeah.
And we would do bonfires constantly.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, as long as you've known me, you know how I am constantly having bonfires and inviting people over.
Yeah.
So,
especially at the old house.
Yeah.
I never really ever had fires. Like, that was something that any of my people I hung around ever did. So that was a new experience, hanging out with you and doing that. I never did that growing up. No,
do they not do like bonfires in Germany or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't anything. Like, how people like burn shit? In their yard, that I don't until I got to I guess I don't remember it as a child, which I don't remember much as my childhood, but I don't remember anybody ever in Germany, just randomly, burning shit. That wasn't a.
Well, y'all didn't have big yards or tracts of property to just do shit on, right?
Well, I mean, even when we lived in the village, that had the slaughterhouse and the junkyard, I don't remember any fires.
Because it's a very country thing to do. Because everybody I've ever known who's lived out in the country area, it's like you've got trees on your property, you gotta burn shit. So it's a pretty common practice, at least in the United States, and more so in the rural areas.
Yeah.
Because you just got trees you gotta get rid of. Because I remember every fall my grandmother would burn. She had these giant maple trees in her yard, and when I say the leaves were probably, I'm miming this, Jennifer, they were probably about 10 inches wide. Like, the leaves were this big.
That is huge.
Yeah, and she would have these massive piles of leaves, and we would burn them every year. Because they would just rake them up, and they were so big you couldn't mulch them, so we just burn them.
See, and I did not grow up like that. That was not something that I ever did. So, you introducing me to
I'm just surprised you didn't have
fires.
Any of your other homosexuals didn't introduce you to fires or bonfires or anything.
The closest would be grilling.
Really? Huh.
But
But you really enjoy the fire pit we've had.
oh yeah, And that's why I bought one for myself, because I liked it so much. But I don't know. Think any of but most of them lived with me, and I never had a fire pit before now.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah. That wasn't something that, I did ever really until I started hanging out with you guys.
Huh.
But I love fire.
Yeah.
So, I'm not like a pyromaniac or anything. So,
Yes, she is.
Guys don't think I'm like burning, down my house or anything like that. But I've always enjoyed fire.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's always something we've done. So that's why I've always continued to do it. And I've loved having the fires. Yeah. And I think everyone who comes over enjoys it too.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because we've had big ones at the old house. We would like have a fire and like spread out blankets and people would just hang out and watch the fire.
Yep.
So.
And we would always just have some fun. It was always a good time. But, yeah. So I know that you did it with, because this is
we're technically talking about siblings.
So you did it with your brother, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a family activity.
Yeah, at the lake house.
Yeah.
And then now Clea got to do it with her sisters.
Yeah, we've done it several times with our kid, like with Clea and Wesley. Yeah. I know we've set them up in front of the fire and be like, okay, don't kill yourself, just watch the fire and enjoy it.
Right. Yeah. We kind of stopped it, though, for a little bit. Like, we went and got a whole bunch of firewood, and then it just kind of... Like, you even made up a whole...
thing to hold the firewood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and then to keep it off, I guess, the ground and get, wet and all that stuff. And then we just stopped for some reason. I guess we just got busy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's the only thing. And then all the other extra dramas in our lives that just, kind of just we stopped. But I think that now that we know that the babies like it, and it's not 19 degrees outside, because you don't want to do it when it's that freaking cold.
This is true.
That we might kind of maybe start doing that again.
Yeah, I think we will.
But and then also when you got your fire pit, that kind of took over.
Jennifer's talking about my gas fire pit.
Sorry, yeah. Took over the bonfire, the actual wood.
Yeah, agreed.
Thing. So that might be another thing that contributed to us, kind of stopping the wood burning part.
I love how we're still talking about fire pits when it's.
but I was trying to,
Yeah, I know you're trying to bring it back.
Your brother and your lake house.
Well, I was going to say, what? So you have a unique situation with your siblings.
Yes.
Well, all right. Well, all right. We'll go down that avenue, but I did want to talk about other siblings too. But you are you're exactly 20 years younger than your mother, right?
Yes.
But you were almost exactly. No, you're not exactly. You're 18 years older than your brother.
Yes.
So you graduated high school and your brother was born.
Yeah. I graduated in May. He was born in August.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a only child until I was 18 years old. So I have the, I guess,
mentality,
unique situation of being an only child for so long and then having siblings.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have that.
Well, I mean, you were, for all intents and purposes, you were parentified from day one because you were so old.
Yeah.
But you also did that on purpose. You did it knowingly because you wanted to help your mom.
Of helping raise my brother?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I had heard too many horror stories about daycares. So I
you skipped.
I skipped. Going to college. And for the first 2 years of his life, I was mama number 2. So I worked at night, she worked during the day, and we just kind of traded off taking care of him. And I really enjoyed it because that way I knew he was safe, and I, have loving memories of it. And
And
We
you
have
and
a
your
good
brother are pretty close,
bond.
too.
Yeah. I believe in my heart, I think he thinks we have a good bond as well. So.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that he's willing to do his, well, he's just a good person in general,
Yes.
but he, I can tell you two have a very special bond.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
I'm mama number 2. That's what we always say. Even my mom will say, I'm mama number 2. Just because I did so much to, to help her out.
Yeah.
So I loved it. Maybe not so much. I mean, I don't think I ever really, because I didn't have it, I didn't know to, not miss it, but like that it was something that I was maybe missing in my life, having a sibling, having someone to do stuff with.
Well, I mean, but how would you, like, if it's only your only point of reference, how would you miss it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I never, like, there's some kids that'll be like, hey, Mom, why don't I have a brother or sister? I don't think I ever said that.
I think your life was also pretty filled with kids, too. Like, you were kind of surrounded by children.
Well, because I always made friends. Like,
Yeah.
I had to, with me traveling so much because of my father being in the military, I just made friends very quickly. Even, like, ones that didn't even speak my language, because when we were in Germany, it was, different people speaking different languages, but we had soccer and everybody knew how to play soccer. So it was like, okay, let's go play. And that's what I did. And that's how I grew up, is just learning how to make friends. I'm very good at it.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. So I guess for my situation, I am the younger of 2 brothers, but my brother is 4 years older, and he didn't really have a ton to do with me growing up. Once we hit all right, let me back up. I have a bad memory, just like Jennifer does. So like, I don't remember a ton, and he may have been playing with me a bunch when we were young kids, but I don't have like a ton of like memories per se. And, he was, by the time I hit high school, he was already out of it.
Right.
So I didn't feel like, I mean, he is my brother. I'm not crazy about him, but that's for other reasons. Mm-hmm. But he's, he's still my brother.
Right.
I guess if I was going to have a brother, I wish I'd had a brother that was a little bit closer in age, because we could have been friends, like maybe 2 years older or 2 years closer in age. Like Jalen and Ayana. I wish I had that. That would have been nice. Because I think Ayana will always be there for her sister. I
think so too. But it could be the other way too, that,
It could. I hope
when they
not.
get a little older, it's,
Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it is for Kalia now. Mm-hmm. She loves her sisters, but she is so fucking ready to get rid of them when it's time for them to go.
Yeah.
They come up. She's like, "Oh, I want to hang out for 5 minutes," and they're like, "Okay, I'm tired of you."
Yeah. And then I'm going to my room to hide from you.
Yeah. But I mean, with a 7-year age gap, I can't imagine anything else.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. She's just not.
She doesn't live with them.
Because she doesn't live with them. So
yeah.
It's a kind of, it's a very unique situation.
Agreed.
Because it's like, oh, Mom, I want to live with you, but then, oh, I'd have to live with my sisters too.
And be probably parentified.
Right.
Yep.
And not be able to do the things that I want to do. So I think she's kind of figuring it out. Oh, okay, well, we're just going to let them come visit. Yep. And then I can run.
Yep.
I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, we might come back on the podcast and be like, oh, yeah, she loves it, and, blah, blah, blah. But right now, the way that it is looking, it's I'm good.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion,
it's a very interesting dynamic that I'm not used to because I grew up so differently than her. Mm-hmm. But I will say I visited some cousins recently in Texas.
Yep.
And my youngest cousin, who's 56, I think 58 maybe.
Okay.
And his older sister is 12 years older than him. Mm-hmm. And it's a very similar situation. But he's taking care of his mom, my aunt, as she's dying, and he's like trying to get his sister to help.
Right.
And she's like, nah.
Oh, really?
And not being super helpful.
Oh, that sucks.
So I was like, well, I don't know. What I was going to go back to though is, in addition to you having one biological sibling, you have 3 step siblings that you got when you were in your late 20s, wasn't it? Well, technically it would have been when you were 18, when Pops and your mom got together.
Well, they actually were together when I was in high school. But my mom dated him because without me knowing for a good while, because she wanted to make sure that he was someone, she wanted to have in her life.
Right.
And then when she figured that part out, she introduced me to him.
Okay.
And then when she introduced me to him, she said, sorry guys, if you don't like him, he's gone.
Now, you've told me that before, and like that's really sweet of your mom. That's a lot of pressure on you. Did you feel that pressure?
Not really, because I don't think I understood not severity, no.
The gravity?
The gravity of it, yes. Like, this is like, my mom really likes this guy, and, she's saying, you don't like him, he gone. I don't think I understood really what that meant.
Right.
I mean, on some level, I probably did, because I feel like I'm kind of smart, but, like, it wasn't like I don't know how to, like...
It wasn't an ultimatum.
Right, yeah. So it was just kind of like, hey, just give me your feeling of this guy. And I was like, he cool. That...
He all right.
Yeah, all right, and then I didn't really meet my my step sisters until I want to say they were like really, really like
serious.
Yeah, even more serious. Maybe even after Patrick was born.
Really?
Like, I don't really remember. So sorry, guys. Memory just bad, but I want to say that they didn't really come into my life until after that.
Okay.
So they're my sisters. They, I guess how sisters act. I mean, we don't like fight or anything like that, but I've asked. I'll say I have a favorite, but we don't like. We've done family vacations together.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are surprisingly close for sisters you only met in your late 20s.
Yeah. Now, there are some times where it's more them than me.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense because they grew up together, and mm-hmm. I don't feel any animosity. I don't hold any grudges, because I understand that, kind of, they've been together for, their whole lives. And, but I know if I were to pick up the phone and need somebody that I could.
Yeah.
Well, for
1.5 of them.
Yeah. But, I take one of my sisters because, Wesley goes to church with my sisters and my mom and my pops, and I wanted him to have some Jesus in his life. And I also wanted him to know his cousins and his aunties and hang out with my mom and my pops.
Right.
Give me a break as well. So I pick up usually one of my sisters every Sunday to take her to church with Wesley. And so I get to see her at least once a week. And that helps kind of keep us kind of closer than some of the other some other people might do. Why are you taking a picture of me?
I'm snapping a picture of Jennifer as she's talking because I want to put it on the Instagram.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had the flash on. I was trying to do it surreptitiously.
so bright light.
Sorry about
that. But yeah, so I do have a very not precarious. I have interesting,
peculiar.
Good, that's a better word. Sibling thing, because everyone always thought that Patrick was mine because I was 18. So of course there were a lot of 18-year-olds having babies.
My own daughter included.
And so, but as he got older, if you think about second mom, I was the fun mom, which it later turned to me being the big sister more so, because I was out of the house, but I would take him and do things. Let's go to the movies. Let's go Six Flags for your birthday. I took him to his first concert. I always did things that were fun with him. Trampoline parks, anything like that. Because I wanted to hang out with my brother. And when Patrick drops off Wesley after church, he stays around and we talk. And he's helped me out a good bit with Wesley. So we definitely have love and a really, really good relationship. And I love that. He will always be my baby. And, I look at him and I'm like, you're my little brother, but you're taller than me, because he's 6'4".
He's a
and
giant.
with his fro, he's 6'6". But he's like, I don't care. You call me your little brother. And I was like, but I used to call you my baby brother. And then it moved to little brother. Now I have to try to get into the younger brother status of it. But I love him to death. And he definitely, is my heart.
Yeah.
Wesley has asked for a sibling multiple times, and I can barely not take care of him, but I can barely handle him. And I don't think I could bring another child into my house because so he won't get a sibling.
Well, you also have a tiny house, so I can't imagine all y'all being in their house together.
I mean, there is a third bedroom, so technically I could, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I would hope not.
But, so he won't get a brother from me. Or sister. But yeah, I don't think I could handle another kid. And then just trying to figure out logistics as well, because then it would be
Oh, God.
How would I get, because you helped me get Wesley to school, but how would I get this kid? And then I have to pay for, another after school or,
I don't.
yeah.
We have, Jennifer and I have a lady that goes to our support group, and I won't name names. Hopefully, we're trying to get her on the podcast, but she's single mom and she has like 5 or 6 foster kids. And I don't know how the fuck she does it. But she's always like, oh yeah, I have 6 today or 5 today, and I'm doing this and that, and one of them is pregnant. And I'm like, fucking hell, how do you do this?
And I applaud her because she does a lot of teenagers.
Yeah.
Girls.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really I think they've tried to push boys on her. She's like, dude, I got all these girls in my house. You think a teenage boy needs to be in here?
Well, and she's also like 5'2", maybe. She's so teeny tiny and just a small woman. I can't, if you put a man in her house, I'd be like, I don't think she'd be safe.
Yeah.
So.
And she works full time. So it's like she's got, I think she does not infants, but maybe toddlers and then teenagers. So it's like you're just like running amok.
And never seems frazzled. I don't know how, but yeah.
I have no idea either.
When we were talking about doing siblings as the topic, I was going to actually say, I am so glad we were able to get Justin and Kiki. Like, even though we did adopt Kiki, even if we had never adopted her, I'm glad she's part of our lives because I could just see how much it was hurting Justin to kind of lose access to his sister and worry about her. So that's been one of the greatest the things I'm most happy about this whole adoption process. And I've been able to make sure they stayed technically related.
Right.
And they're each in each other's lives, even though they drive each other insane. They love each other deeply. And I am so glad that I was able to do that for them.
And even though, he tried to cut off her finger.
And she used to lock him in the bathroom.
Yeah. And turn off the light. Which I'm sure people have tons of those type of stories with
their sibling.
With their sibling when they're closer in age. Kiki and Justin are 4 years?
Yeah, they're 4 years. She's 27. He's 20. Well, I think they're 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
And you and your brother are 4 years, right?
We're technically 3 and but it's just the border of 4.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But was it that your mom adopted him later in life? Because well, with you guys not hanging out, they hung out, but I guess they lived together their whole lives too. So it's
Kyle and I did too.
Well, when did they? So how old were you? Well, they got Kyle, and then you were like a surprise baby, right?
Yeah, they got Kyle. They got Kyle at 3 weeks old, and which is an incredibly common thing to happen. They adopted a baby, and then I guess it calmed them down enough, and they got pregnant. Right. So it which apparently happens all the goddamn time.
Yeah, we've heard tons of stories like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Kyle and I just weren't. We did stuff, but we weren't. And I think a lot of it is just my bad memory. I don't remember us growing up.
I gotcha.
But a portion of it too is that as we've gotten older, we're such different people. Yeah. And I don't feel I can't relate to him on a lot of levels. Yeah. And I hate to say it, Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry to say this, but I just don't respect him in some aspects. Right. Well, a lot of aspects. I just don't respect him. So it's hard for me to feel close to him. Right. Frankly, I feel closer, more of a sibling to my cousin Kelly, just because we are more closely aligned in mindset. And she's definitely a lot more ambitious and hardworking than I am. Yeah. But I still there's a common family bond there, and we have similar sentimentality, and we're just similar people. Right. So I definitely feel more of a kinship to her than I do my brother.
Yeah, I got you. What's the age difference between you and Kelly?
3 years, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I always thought that because she's your cousin, right?
Yeah, she's my cousin.
I always thought you were like all my cousins. Well, maybe because she wasn't in Texas when you were in Texas, right? Was she always?
She was never in Texas.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Is that because I want to say that you were like the closest in age that I had was like 10 years difference from me in Texas.
For first cousins, yes. Second cousin so children of first cousins, like, so remember earlier when I was talking about my cousin who's dealing with his mother who's dying?
Yeah, and the sister doesn't want to help?
Yeah, the sister that's not helping, who's 12 years older. No. She has a daughter who is in between me and Kelly's age, and me and Kelly and her are all friendly. Kelly and I are closer just because we keep in contact, but my cousin Jennifer, she's actually closer in age to me, or she's like right in between me and Kelly. And she and I we were all like, Kelly and Jennifer and I were all close growing up. But we kind of, just because we don't see each other much anymore, we kind of grew distant. But Kelly and I have kept up I guess friendship.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
you have definitely, or
kept up the relationship.
The family.
Yeah, where Jennifer and I haven't.
Is Jennifer in Texas?
She's in the DC area.
Okay.
But funny story about Jennifer. She is probably she's the most blunt person I've ever met. But Zane and I went to Atlanta before we got Justin, so it would have been probably 8 years ago.
Yeah. And
we were at a convention there it's called Dragon Con's, huge sci-fi anime pop culture convention. And I wanted to go see one of my favorite authors speaking. And so we're waiting, like all of us are lined up against the wall, sitting down on the floor, waiting for the room to open up.
Okay.
We stand up, and I noticed this woman in front of me, or like a few people in front of me, and I was like, Jennifer? And she turned around, and I could tell she didn't remember me. I was like, Jenny, it's me, your cousin. She's like, Jason, you've put on a lot of weight.
Oh. Wow.
That is Miss Jennifer.
All right.
She is the most blunt person I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow. But it's funny that you just kind of randomly, ran into her.
And it was funny when we were while we were in Texas, visiting my cousin and my aunt who was dying. My cousin Kelly came down to visit, and she's like, we should message Jennifer. I was like, I have a phone number. I don't know if it's hers though. So I messaged, and it was hers, and she sent me pictures of her. She's got 2 boys now. Mm-hmm. And she swore up and down growing up she was never going to be a parent. And so we'll have to get her on the podcast because she is a kook.
I don't know if I could do it because no. It's not the kook part. It's the
blunt.
No, her name's Jennifer, and that is just going to confuse the shit.
She goes by Jenny, so it wouldn't hurt if we called her Jenny. Because
I would definitely not answer to that one. So we're good on that. Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better that she goes by Jenny. But yeah, Kelly is awesome.
Yeah, Kelly.
I don't know how she does what she does, raising 2 rambunctious boys, working super hard, and like crazy cancer research where, like just she just I got to meet her. So I've met her once. We all went to St. Louis together. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed her company. I feel like I have a closer bond to her mama, Aunt Nancy, because she's been on the podcast and she's been here more than Kelly has, of course.
Yeah, so Kelly's never been here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I feel like that. And I love Nancy. But yeah, I really enjoyed going to St. Louis. I wouldn't mind going back because it's a really cool town. Like they have some really cool stuff. Like a fucking free zoo. And I got splashed by penguins. That's how fucking close I was to them. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Not that Kelly was cool, but I mean, like, a free zoo. Like, come on now. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back. And then we had, Zane met up with one of Zane's, I want to say it was one of his Peace Corps friends. And we had Ethiopian. And so I got to meet her, and she seemed really cool too. So, like, I mean, I would go back with you guys.
Yeah. St. Louis is really cool.
Yeah. You know me. I'm all down to go.
You down to clown?
I'm down to go on vacation. That is what I'm down for. But yeah, I know siblings fight, and they, like what we heard from Kiki, about locking Justin in. But when I found out that when you adopted Justin, it severed that tie, that really, that hurt my heart.
So for our listeners, if you know what Jennifer's talking about, when I adopted Justin, we tried to get custody of Kalia, and the DHR lawyers told us that we couldn't get custody of Kalia because by adopting Justin, we severed his ties to his biological family, so they weren't connected anymore.
Yeah. I was just thinking, if it's our regular listeners, they know all about this because we've said this multiple times.
We're getting new listeners every day.
I know. Thank you for reminding me that I need to kind of give a little context to what I say, so I apologize. But that hurt my heart. And then when you said that you were going to adopt her, I was like, that is fucking awesome. Because you're doing this for your son, who you got when he was 17, and you never really ever thought that, he was going to call you dad, or like, like it would be not necessarily family, but it would, that he would call you dad.
Yeah. No, it was special.
Yeah. And because 17, you done lived your fucking life and all this craziness. But to see them together, they clown, they have fun. It kind of makes me wish I had closer siblings.
In age?
But in age. I mean, because I'm the oldest out of all of them. I want to say like Poochie might be like 8 years difference.
I didn't realize there was that big of a difference.
It might not be. I could be wrong. I don't know. Sorry, Pooch. I know she ain't listening to this. But like, we didn't grow up together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the, I tried to stab somebody stories.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird dynamic when I hear things like that, because I could never think about like, would I do that? But I mean, if you piss me off enough, I mean, maybe especially since I was a bully in kindergarten, you never know, But yeah, so siblings is a very interesting dynamic when the weird, like if you're close, then there's that love, but then there's also that hate. And then when you're not close, it's just kind of indifference.
Yeah. Or it can be like rivalry.
Yeah.
Or, what I was going to say about the hate thing, not the hate thing, but my little brothers from Big Brothers Big Sisters, Matt and John, they always amaze me because they were a combination of super close but incredibly violent with each other. Yeah. Like they hate each other, but love each other so much. And I was always amazed by it. Cause I remember stories of them practicing punching each other in the face. Mm-hmm. And I had to I smacked the shit out of Matt one time cause he punched his brother in the back. Mm. And, but they would also be they would cry if something happened to the other one sometimes. So it was just this weird dynamic. That closeness I do not get.
They're also
twins.
Fraternal twins.
Yeah, they're fraternal
right?
twins.
So that twins have a whole nother
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, because I have twin nieces, and I don't think there's violence there.
Well, they're girls too.
I mean, there might be a little bit of, not violence, I would say, but
cattiness.
They play softball together.
Yeah.
So they're more, I think, more close and more friendly.
I hope so.
But they do kind of have their own language in not words but looks. Because I've seen them grow up.
Yeah.
And I mean, Noah's my favorite, even though he's like one of the babies of the whole group. Like when we went on family vacation, I was his vacation mama. I don't know if he did that to piss off Ashley or not, but Ashley was like, I don't got to deal with him, so I'm good. But Noah Bug has always had a really big place in my heart. But I knew the twins when they were born.
Yep.
And seeing them grow up, and like I would go to like their t-ball games, and I would their like little graduations and things like that. But when you see them together, it is so cute because they'll just look at each other, and it's just instant like communication. And it's just so funny. And I believe they've been watching either TikToks about gay people, or they've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race, or they've been watching that one with the houses on Max. I don't remember.
Pose? Or the one where they
like the houses compete.
No. Fabulous.
Anyways, so there's drag houses. You have the mom, and then you have their children, the mom's children, and they each, it's like the House of Gucci. Legendary, yes, because they'll clap like they do on that, where they put the pointer finger and the thumb together, and they'll say some stuff, and I'm like, what y'all been watching? Auntie J knows a lot about the queer community, so
cute.
Let me know, like, what are we doing, And so it's just really funny, and I love them to death. But yeah, they're really cute together. They don't. I guess it's maybe boys against girls too. So no, girls can get violent. I mean, we heard from Kiki, but
Jesus,
yeah, I do have twins in my family that just, yeah.
Yeah, that twin dynamic is interesting.
Very much so. I really like it.
I really want to see how, so for listeners of the pod, long-time listeners, Crystal Elin, she was on the pod first season. She has an older daughter, Ava, and a younger son, a middle son, Ethan, who's, I think there's about 2 years apart. I can't wait to see how they're going to be in a few more years.
And then Ice Baby.
Yeah.
Isaac.
But that's a 4-year gap, if I remember correctly. Isn't it? Is it like 2 and 4?
No, because Ethan's like, so Ava's, 11?
She's 12. She's a little bit older than Clea.
Okay. And then Ethan is 10? If you say a 2-year difference?
Maybe
9 or 10. Yeah. And then Isaac is probably 2 now, so there's like a 7 between him.
There was a big age difference. Yeah,
but he's so cute, and they're so cute with him. But the reason why they call him Ice is because of his initials, because it was Isaac something Elin.
Yeah.
And it was Ice. So every time I think about that baby, it's Ice Baby, because that's how Crystal was like, this is how you remember it.
That's so cute.
But yeah, I'm gonna. I'm sad that they're not going to be with us on our traditions anymore. I tried to be a 12-year-old little girl with Kalia when we did the Galaxy of Lights this year because it was her first year without
Ava. Yeah.
And I guess I did a pretty good job because she seemed to have a really good time. She said she did anyways, so...
Maybe next year I'll see if she wants to bring some of her one of her friends.
Yeah, we can maybe get one of the Baileys or...
Yeah.
Maybe we can take the babies.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Cause
I don't think Kalia would appreciate it if we brought the babies.
But if we let her bring one of her friends, they can just walk ahead and then we would have the babies.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
we got 7 months to plan it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's flying by. Like, it's almost March. That's just crazy to me.
Yep. And we Zane and I start planning our trip to Japan.
That's right.
November.
Yeah, I've tried so hard to go with them, but since it's their anniversary, they've denied me every time.
Well, you are. Zane was telling me that for his 50th birthday he wanted a whitewater raft down the Colorado in the Grand Canyon. I was like, okay, that sounds like fun. And I was like, oh, for my 50th, I'd like to do the Christmas markets in Germany. And Jennifer's like, can we go? And I'll admit, I was like, okay, Jay, whatever. But then I was like, actually, I think that'd be fun because my cousin, he's like, oh, I've never been out of the country. I was like, hey, why don't you come with me? The one who's dealing with his mother dying. He's never been out of the country except for Cancun. He's a sweet country boy.
You're not trying to hook me up?
No, God, no.
Okay.
No. But he's just a nice guy. And I want to start, like, he's actually adopted too.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just like, of all my cousins, he's like one of the closer ones in age. He's after Kelly, he's the closest one in age.
Besides Jennifer, because you said Jennifer's
not a first cousin though. She's a first cousin. She's the child of a first cousin.
I gotcha. So, I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah, I have a very big family.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, did you want me to go with you on your?
No, that's what I was
birthday?
saying. That was like, oh, this will be perfect if you come and he comes, and we'll just make a big trip of it.
Oh, because the way that you said it was like, because I was like saying that I wanted. Well, to go to Japan
when you
with
first asked me, I will admit I was like, okay, Jay, whatever. Because at first, sometimes you'll ask, and I'm like, do you mean it, or are you actually asking? And I wasn't sure at the time, but then I was like thinking about it, I was like, that would be fun if we just plan a big trip. Like, here we're all gonna go. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's the cities we're gonna go see. If you want to come.
Anytime I say, "Can I come?"
You mean it?
I mean it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For future reference, I love trips.
This is true.
I love Germany.
This is true.
You saying, I want to go to Germany for my 50th. Fuck yeah, I want to go. And, after maybe like a day or so, I might be able to help translate some shit. I will have to be immersed into a lot of people speaking German to try to remember some of the shit, but once you're in it, it's a little bit easier to remember.
Yeah.
Like I spent, I want to say it was a week with my family in South Carolina, my aunt, my uncle, and my Uncle Mecky was there too. And so a lot of German was spoken. A lot of mixture of German and English.
Yeah.
It's just weird how we do that. But Patrick would ask me, what was that? And I'm like, oh, that word is that. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. But on the way home, he was like, you had an accent. You were speaking in German and in English. And I was like, was I really? And he was like, yes.
Aww.
And I was like, well, it kind of came back to me, I guess. But so like, yeah, I mean, I could probably help you out eventually.
Yeah.
You just got to get me, like a day.
Well, to all our listeners, Benjamin, if you're listening to this podcast, which we always hope you are because we love you.
Yes.
If you want to go to Germany with us, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yep. And you can, if you're still with your partner, then you can bring them along as well.
Yep. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We'll do the Christmas markets. We'll go like during Christmas time. It'll be a lot of fun. All right.
Good transition time?
Yeah, I think it's a good break point. So
right.
We'll be right back. And we're back. All right. No, we did the transition in the wrong spot. Oh, well.
You did.
I did. So for all our listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids.
Or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics.
Email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com. And soon, next season, we're going to have a phone number. So y'all call in with your story times or questions.
Yeah, since you're so lazy that you can't just email
Let's not poo-poo on our listeners, Jennifer.
I'm just saying. I mean, we've been doing this for 5 seasons, and we've only gotten a handful of emails. I've been begging for some emails, but hopefully you guys want to just call and talk, which confuses me because most people want to text more so than call, but whatever.
Well, we have the voicemail set up. I'll record the Jennifer and I will have to record like an intro thing for it. If we get some good voicemails, we'll play them on air.
Yeah.
We'll play them over the podcast.
And then you can always tell us too, because apparently Google has a really cool thing about translating it, so that way transcripting.
Yeah. Transcribe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Writing it down so that we could read it if you don't want to hear the sound of your voice, like I don't want to hear the sound of my voice.
I don't know. You call in. I'm playing it.
Why the fuck would I call in when I talk to you every
Not you, girl.
Okay. Anyways, snack time. Jason, what are we eating on?
I bought this a while back, but I don't and you know what I just realized? Jennifer and I went to Buc-ee's Christmas Eve and we bought fudge. And we still it's in the freezer and we have not thawed that fucker out. And I think they said we had 30 days, didn't we? I don't know. We're going to have to thaw it out soon.
No, they said it was
a while.
I think it was longer if you freeze it.
Okay. So we got some time, hopefully a few more days on the fudge, but I had some Boursin herb and I don't know, some sort of herb. Boursin cheese. It's real soft. I think it's a goat cheese. And I had a baguette. I like it. Do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so crumbly though, but it's so good.
It's very good.
All right. So I did story time last time, so now it's your time to do story time. And you said I didn't know this story.
Yeah, I don't think you've heard this story. So as I've said on the podcast before, my parents growing up owned a lake house, and we would drive up there most weekends when growing up. And for some odd reason, I bless them for doing it because I enjoyed it. My parents bought me a three-wheeler motorcycle, and my brother a little dirt bike.
Okay, so he had 2 wheels, you had 3.
Mm-hmm. So we would zoom all around the lake house, like our neighborhood. It was very rural, so we would just zoom all around the neighborhood with maybe 7 homes, the entire neighborhood. But it was, like lots of just open acreage.
Right.
So we would blaze trails. We had a blast. So one time, and there's a few stories with the motorcycles, but one time my mom was making lunch. She's like, "Hey, it's lunchtime. Will you go get your brother and let him know?"
Right.
So when my parents bought the lake house, their best friends bought a property next door and hand built a house next door. So my parents had a house. Next door to them was my aunt and uncle, Nelda and Ted, which I've talked about before, but they died before you ever met them.
Right.
And then next to them was Cecil and Carol. And Cecil was
that the hand-built house?
Yes.
Okay.
And Cecil was actually my advisor for my master's program for statistics.
Okay.
He's the one who got me going to statistics. Anyway, they had a son who was a bit older than Kyle and I, maybe like 5 years older than Kyle, so probably about 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So my mom was like, "Hey, lunch is ready. Go get Kyle and Todd."
Okay.
So I get on my three-wheeler. I zoom down to where they're at. Maybe like quarter of a mile away.
Right.
I was like, "Hey, lunch is ready." I turn back around. I start driving off with my three-wheeler. Kyle and Todd get on his dirt bike.
Uh-huh.
I'm driving along. I hear them yelling. So I'm like, okay, well, let me stop. So I hit the brakes. They apparently were right on my ass and hit my tire. I didn't feel it. I felt a little boop.
Yeah.
They went flying.
Off the dirt bike. Like over you?
Off to the side.
Off to the side. Okay.
But like when I say the road to the lake house was
gravel,
asphalt, it was barely asphalt. You know, it was mostly gravel. And Kyle landed on top of Todd. So like,
oh no, was Todd a smaller guy?
Todd was bigger, but he was behind my brother. I don't know how it happened, but it's like Todd is on the bottom, Kyle's on top, and they slide on asphalt.
Poor Todd.
Yeah. And Kyle got hurt.
Kyle's not a small guy.
At the time he was.
Oh, okay.
At the time he was probably like Wesley size.
But still.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
I've never heard this story.
Oh, before. Yeah. It was pretty bad. Like we I was like, oh shit. And they were like, why did you stop? I was like, because you were yelling at me. I was like, why the fuck were you right on my ass?
Right.
So I zoom back home and I get my mom and I get Cecil and Carol and Todd has like a I guess I would say like a $50 coin size chunk.
Ooh.
Taken out of his side, and it was like maybe half an inch deep.
Like his side,
like
at least it wasn't his face, but
no, it was like around like for men, I guess you would say it was his spare tire area, like on the side. Kyle was kind of banged up too, but nothing like Todd. And I was like, oh shit. So. Yeah, I have other three-wheeler incident stories, which I will tell. But that was the one I was like, oh yeah, that was the one I remember the most to be with my sibling.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Poor Todd.
Yeah.
Why the fuck were they riding your ass?
I don't know.
And screaming.
Well, I don't know what they were trying to get my attention for because it was just lost in the sands of time. But
right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't ride someone's ass and scream because the first thing that's going to happen is the person's going to fucking stop. I mean, that's just common fucking sense.
Not when you're that age, because I think Kyle was probably Wesley's age now, maybe like 13, 14.
Oh yeah, there's no common sense there. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Poor Todd.
Yeah.
Aw.
Todd's doing fine. Well, if we ever get Todd in the story, he's got some stories of his own to tell with kids. I'll tell you after the pod. But
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, you can't hear this story. We gotta go.
Yeah, if we get him on the pod, I'll tell it. But it's a dark one.
Oh.
All right. So for all our listeners, thanks for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they can't get their ice cream treat, even though they promised they would get their homework done first.
Tough shit. Do your work.
God damn it.
Then you get your treat. That is how life fucking works.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you do your work and you don't get a fucking treat. So get over it.
And sometimes you're rich and you buy an election and you become president. Oh, we're going to stop there.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.